Do you have nervous or new skiers in your group? Would you like to avoid being caught out on a slope that is trickier than the piste map suggests? Then this series of videos might well be for you. In this Obergurgl video, we'll be looking at the easier lower third of Blue 6 that many of the beginner lessons use, the slightly steeper upper section of Blue 6, why you might want to ski the lower section first before heading up to the top, where this surprise kids play area is, and much more. Today we are skiing run 6 in Obergurgl, which is classified as a blue run. It's almost 12 kilometers in length. It starts at the top of the Roskarbahn bubble lift and takes you all the way down into Obergurgl village. Now, if I had nervous or new skiers in my group, I would always suggest starting off on the lower third of run 6 before heading up the mountain, as this lower section is much more mellow and forgiving. And if you are comfortable skiing the steeper section at the bottom of this run, then you are more than capable of heading up to the top and skiing the whole of run 6. Do note that you take a different lift to ski the lower section than you would do if you were heading to the top. So to ski the lower section, you catch this lift that heads off to the right from Obergurgl, and you get off at the mid-station point just here. So here we are at the mid-station of the bubble lift, ready to ski the lower section of Blue 6. When you get off here, it's quite flat. There's quite a few people carrying speed from the slopes behind us. And there's a small section here where we get funneled together. It's only for a really short section here. And as you can see, it opens up into a really wide piste, and most of the skiers just melt away into their own space. We're just going to pause it here. There's two distinct slopes you can take from here. There's the left hand and right hand ones. They're pretty similar. If we just jog forward a bit and have a look at the same view but from the bubble lift on the way up, you can see there a bit more distinctly the two pistes. One of them's been groomed, the other one hasn't. In summary, they're pretty similar. No real difference in gradient. Feel free to explore both of those. So we're going to be taking the lower right hand section. It's a little bit wider and there's a few more features to be had as well. So this is a really good piste for new skiers or people getting back into skiing who maybe haven't skied for a number of years. It's a great place just to find your ski legs again. There's a few little features off to the sides as usual, little humps and bumps, a couple of jumps a bit further down. If you're finding this information useful, why not subscribe so you don't miss out on my other resort reviews, as well as helping other skiers discover this content. Thanks in advance for your ongoing support. And pretty soon we get to this point where you can see Obergurgl and the lifts down at the bottom here. So there's a fork in the piste once again on the right hand side where that skier with the blue trousers is going down. It's much flatter, similar to the terrain that you've just been skiing. It takes you to the same place, so you ski along that right hand side, it loops around and comes back down into Obergurgl. The alternative is to carry straight on down this slightly steeper section. And this is why I recommend people check that they're comfortable with this gradient of slope before heading up to the top of 6. In summary, if you're comfortable and happy skiing this, you'll have no problems on the rest of Blue 6. And from here we can see the two bubble lifts, the closest one that took us up to the mid-station that we've just been on, and the one tucked in behind it takes you up to the top of Blue 6. So stick around because we're going up there and we're going to have a look at Blue 6 from the top. So here we are at the top of the Roskarbahn bubble lift. And over there is the kids' playground I mentioned earlier on. And looking down here across Blue 6, you can see it's a little bit steeper than what we've been skiing down on the low section. And that's really why I suggested you ski that steeper bit first before coming up here. So just about to break out into the sunshine. Fantastic views down the valley into Obergurgl and Ho He Mut. Piste nice and wide, a little bit icy still this morning. Plenty of space for everyone on this piste. We're just going to carry on a little bit further and have a look. And if you think others in your group might benefit from watching this video, why not share it with them now? Okay, looking back up from where we've just come from, you can see the top of the bubble lift in the distance. And you can see that it's a slightly steeper section of Blue 6 here. So we're going to carry on down for a little bit. There's going to be a junction coming up, so let's go down, have a look at that and see which way we need to go next. Really nice and quiet this morning, not many people out and about. And some fantastic views there down into the valley in the distance. So coming up on the main junction, ski off to the right if you want to go down to Ho He Mut, or if you want to carry on down to Obergurgl on Blue 6, we head off to the left, and that's where we're going next. And in a few minutes time you reach this next junction. Down on our right here we have Red 7A, which you can see on the map here. And if you have stronger skiers in your group who want to do this, you can ski down here. You can peel off just before the end to your left, to the skier's left, and join up with the rest of your group on Blue 6, just over here in the corner. The rest of Blue 6 is pretty much a path from this point onwards until we get down to the final bit just above the mid station where we started off first thing. So here's the last section of this upper part of Blue 6. As you can see, just a little bit steeper here towards the end of the day. It gets a bit busy as all the skiers are funneling down the mountain. It can get a bit mogly, so if you've got skiers who don't like that type of terrain, then perhaps think about coming down a bit earlier, or ski it like I did early on in the day when it's nice and quiet and still in good condition. And as you can see, there's the mid-station lift. There is the Nederhutte there on your right. If you fancy a drink, or if you want to carry on skiing, why not check out this next video where we're doing just that. Here we are at the top of the 6-seater Steinmannbahn chairlift, and we're going to be taking Blue 4 down today. This run starts off really mellow. There's a little entrance on the left-hand side where another red joins us. So just take a look up there before you head off. And the first part is pretty much a path all the way down to this junction. From here you can go two ways on the map. It shows you going off down to the right, and when we have a look in a second, you can see it's a pretty steep blue there. It's quite icy at this time of the morning as well. More reddy than blue in my opinion. But if you don't fancy going down there, you can just follow this path and cut that section out, and I'll show you where you end up in a minute. So around the corner, follow this path on. Got to carry a bit of speed here, it's quite flat. And if you think others in your group might benefit from watching this video, why not share it with them now? And we join back at the bottom of that steeper section that we were looking down earlier. And there we have the view back up. Again, a bit more than a blue, I would say there, but that's how they've decided to mark it on the map. So we're going to carry on down. There's a red 5 off to the left. In a moment, we're going to have a look over the edge there, see what that looks like, and then we're going to carry on. So here we have it, red 5 down there, really nice run, one of my favourites in this particular area. And if you're interested to see what's down there, we're going to be skiing that next, so hang around to see that. But for now, we're going to carry on along this blue path to see where we end up. So important here, you need to carry a bit of speed. We normally don't stop, especially if you're on a snowboard as well. Just keep going, carry the speed to the next section like this guy has done. So we're just going under the 6-seater chairlift that you took on the way up. So that's where you are from an orientation point of view. Hey, if you're finding this guide useful, why not subscribe and check out my other videos. And this is where we meet up at the top of the 4-person chairlift, halfway up 4, which is pretty much where all the beginner lessons take place. So here we are in the main learning area. Lots of lessons take place here. It's normally extremely busy. This is the 27th of December. For some reason, there's no one around. Have no idea why that is, but it's absolutely wonderful. So some really wide, nice, mellow pistes here just for cruising around and getting your ski legs back. This is a great area to come to if you're just starting out skiing or you're coming back into it and this is your first time on skis for a while. Definitely head to this run here and just lap it a number of times, however long it takes to feel better. So we follow this all the way down and already you can see the bottom of that 4-person chairlift, which is the main one that the beginners go up and down. And again, so quiet. There's no one around. There's no queue. Fantastic. There we go. There we are, down at the bottom of run 4. Okay, we're going to be skiing red 7, located up here, and red 5, located down here on the map. First up though, we're going to be looking at red 5 as it's one of my favourite runs in this area. It's one of only a few runs that's tree lined and it also has a load of fun off-piste areas between the slopes if that's what you're into. But let's start off at the bottom of the Steinmannbahn chairlift, which you can use to lap this run. From the chairlift, you can also scope out the lower section of the run as well as some of the off-piste features. It's a great place to watch the routes that others are taking through the trees and finding your entry and exit points if you are skiing off-piste. So before we drop in, let's have a look at what it looks like in the afternoon when it's covered in sunshine. Bunch of natural rollers sort of partway down. There's a whole load of just off-piste and trees over on the right hand side that you can mess about in if the snow's good. And here we are on the way down from the top. You can see the first few rollers if you carry a lot of speed. There's possibilities there of getting a little bit of air. As you can see, lots of interesting features just off to either side of this run. Great for messing around on. And if you think others in your group might benefit from watching this video, why not share it with them now? And we're just going underneath the chairlift that we took on the way up, so that's where you are. And here we are rejoining Blue for Hay, and there's a video for that also that I've made, so I'll share a link for you guys. And just down there you can see the bottom of the chairlift that we took up. Here we are back at the beginning, ready for another lap. Okay, next we're heading up to 2,900 meters to the top of Red 7, just up here on the map. But before we do that, let's have a look at the easy way to get there. One option is to catch the bubble lift up from Obergurgl all the way to the very top and take the easy blue down to the mid station of this chairlift just here. This is an interesting chairlift as you can actually join at the mid station, meaning that you can lap run 7 without having to head too far down the mountain. So jump onto the mid station, take the skiers right when you get off, and here we are up at the top, ready to drop into Red 7. And as you can see, the views from up here are fantastic. If you find this piste guide useful, why not subscribe and check out the others I've made. This first section of the run is still very much in the shade at this time of day, so pretty icy, but pretty soon we'll be breaking out into the sunshine. Here we are then, partway down. You can see the chairlift that you took on the way up. We're just going under that now. Nice wide red one here. And we join up with all the other blues in and around that area where we came off the top of the bubble lift earlier. So you can carry loads of speed here. Great for giving some big calves in. Obviously watch out for other people as we're crossing over a whole load of pistes here. And from here we can just see where the chairlift is that we took on the way up. There we can see it there, and the other drag lift that takes you back up also is located just here. And finally, if you want to take the black 8A, you just go on this side of the drag lift to get there. And for the blue 6 to go back to Obergurgl, you just head off this way. So there we are, Red 7. Really nice run, nice and wide and open at the bottom, and it looks like there's no queue for the chairlift, so we can lap that run again. But if you want to see how to take Blue 6 back to Obergurgl, then you might be interested in this next video.